These are the moments that make Mandy a prime candidate for lockup. Mandy is that person who needs to control everything and everyone around her. Basically a walking red flag. But her control-freak tendencies cross the line into downright criminal territory when she decides she wants to enslave someone.
You lose.
I am the Grim Reaper, master of the forces of life and death!
Not anymore.
The entire concept of the show hinges on Grim being Mandy's slave. Let's face it, if Grim hadn't been turned into her eternal servant, this show wouldn't have much of a plot. When Grim first arrives on Earth, he is all suave and self-assured. Enter Mandy. One interaction later and BAM! Grim signing up for a lifetime of servitude.
This is impossible!
If this whole slavery concept happened in real life, Mandy would have been cuffed faster than you can say toxic boss energy.
Why me?
Even forcing someone to do manual labor under duress is a serious crime. Speaking of Billy, every time he lands himself in trouble, who does he run to for help? Mandy. And she does hell, but there's a catch. She makes him promise to be her lifelong slave in return. That's not friendship, that's extortion. Forcing people into servitude. Yeah, that's jail-worthy behavior. But Mandy doesn't stop there. Once she enslaves someone, she takes total control of their lives. There's even an episode where we glimpse an alternate universe ruled entirely by Mandy.
I now rule the entire Earth.
Mandy, no matter which universe she's in, must be in control. A world without Mandy in charge? Not happening. Her character is so overpowering and intense that imagining her as a regular sweet girl is laughable. In one dystopian alternate universe, Mandy rules everything. Billy? Reduced to a loyal pet who obeys her every command without question. His behavior alone shows how far Mandy's control extends and how dangerous she could be in real life. Honestly, someone with that much power over others, jail feels like the only logical outcome. But Mandy's control issues don't stop her taking charge of the big stuff. There's a particularly questionable moment when she manipulates Billy in ways that absolutely qualify as criminal. One day, Billy's gaze lands on his dad, and he becomes absolutely delighted by his father's impressive beard. Inspired, Billy decides he wants to grow a beard just like his dad. So naturally, he grabs Grim's magic hair tonic, because why not, and slathers it on. In true Billy fashion, things go horribly wrong. And instead of looking dashing, he transforms into a full-blown Sasquatch in no time. When his mom sees him, she freaks out and mistakes him for a Sasquatch. Without a second thought, she chases him out of the house with all of the love only a mother could muster, if she only knew it was her kid. Meanwhile, Mandy instantly recognizes that the hairy beast is, in fact, Billy. At first, she considers helping him. But when she hears there's a government bounty on Sasquatch, she does what Mandy does best. Calculates how to make a quick buck. Instead of saving her friend, she starts plotting how to sell him to the highest bidder. One day, when Billy and Mandy are feeling particularly down in the dumps, Grim shows up to cheer them up by taking them to an underworld circus.
The greatest show under Earth.
Things seem fine until they meet a shady magician who gets a little too interested in Billy and Mandy. The magician offers to buy them from Grim, but when Grim refuses, the magician decides to kidnap them instead. Grim swoops in to save the day, only to discover Billy being treated like a zoo animal by the magician. Thankfully, Mandy manages to avoid this circus fiasco herself. After they escape and return to their world though, things take an even darker turn. Mandy is seen whipping Billy and treating him like a literal pet. And it doesn't stop at physical abuse. There's even a moment where she mentally breaks him down, showing just how far she'll go to keep control. The whole drama kicks off by Billy and Mandy arguing about who Grim should belong to. Things escalate so much that they end up in court to fight for Grim's custody. Because why wouldn't you settle your supernatural disputes legally, right? While Billy and Mandy both try their best to win Grim over, Mandy takes it up a notch, or 10, by manipulating Billy. She fabricates lies and twists his words, taking full advantage of his naivety to make him look bad in front of everyone. Using a kid's innocence for personal gain and trapping them in a web of lies in a public setting? Yeah, that's a crime waiting to happen. If real-life laws applied here, Mandy would have been dragged out of that courtroom in handcuffs.
But give Grim to me, and I'll abuse him in all the right ways.
Mandy's obsession with winning and maintaining control has always driven her actions. But this time, she stooped so low it's so hard to even call it child's play. And let's not forget, manipulating someone to such an extent that they question their own reality? That's the kind of villainy that makes her custody of Grim feel downright illegal. There's nothing worse than having to share a room with someone you're actively avoiding. And that's exactly the nightmare Billy and Mandy walked into. Mandy's family had the nerve, or misfortune, to show up at Billy's house for a temporary stay due to construction at Mandy's place.
This means you'll have to share your room with Mandy.
Cue the awkward arrangement where Billy and Mandy had to share a room. Mandy, ever the control freak, immediately drew a literal boundary in the room to ensure Billy wouldn't invade her space. Of course, Billy, being Billy, didn't care such for trivial things as personal space. Mandy's patience snapped like a twig. Instead of telling Billy off like a normal person, she took things up several notches and walled him up inside the room. That's right, she bricked him into a wall. What's even more horrifying, she acted like it was just another day at the office. This act of medieval punishment should have landed Mandy in handcuffs faster than Billy could say, "Grim, help me!" In this bizarre episode, Mandy contracts the spider flu, and to no one's surprise, transforms into a giant spider. But what really takes this storyline to the next level is her reaction, or lack thereof. Rather than dealing with her predicament responsibly, Mandy decides to imprison her own parents. Instead of seeking a cure, or at the very least isolating herself for everyone's safety, Mandy takes the criminal route, proving yet again why she's a menace to society. In another infamous moment of Mandy's villainy, Billy discovers a magic lamp containing a genie who offers 3 wishes. While Billy and Grim waste their wishes on trivial desires, Mandy has had enough of their antics. Her patience reaches its limit, and she uses a 3rd wish to silence them for good.
Well, that was a dumb wish.
At first, her wish results in a simple gag, as the genie tapes their mouths shut. But when they still annoy her through gestures and sounds, Mandy escalates things to the most extreme way possible. Her next wish? To erase all humans from existence.
Everybody in the whole wide world would go away.
So she can finally have peace and quiet. The genie grants her wish, and in the blink of an eye, humanity is gone.
Hello? Hello?
But instead of regret or loneliness, Mandy remains unfazed, basking in her newfound solitude. This chilling lack of remorse underscores her complete disregard for life and the consequences of her actions. Wiping out humanity? That's a level of evil that's just arrest-worthy. It's downright apocalyptic.